Welcome back to How to Climb. Today we're going to cover a core concept of the game, defensive stats. As with the rest of the series, this information is designed to be for people with very little experience with League of Legends. As such, some of this may prove to be trivial to some, but I'll try to cover some topics that are more advanced as well, such as effective HP. If you already know what health, health regen, armor, and magic resist is, and how they work, you can skip ahead past this video. But if you ever wanted to know more about these stats and base stats, feel free to stick around. A quick note that this video is being made with regards to the current patch 7.15 and will become outdated as soon as the patch changes any of these stats. I'm currently working on a patch rundown series, so this video will serve as the baseline for these stats. I originally planned on doing an itemization video, but before I can discuss itemization, I need to establish a basic framework of how damage is calculated and applied in League of Legends. There's one primary defensive stat in League of Legends, health points, or just HP. From this stat, all other stats gain their value, so it's important to understand how this stat works. Health is represented in the game in two ways, one with the health bar located above each champion's head, and one located at the bottom of the screen. Some people don't realize this, but the individual segments of the health bar above each champion's head represents, at most, 100 HP. So if you can see about 3 bars in the enemy's health bar, he has about 300 HP. The bar at the bottom of the screen will always show you your current health to the left of the slash, and your maximum health to the right. Obviously, when your character hits 0 HP, they will die, and we want to try and stop this from happening. Every champion in the game has a different starting health pool and a unique health growth rate, meaning that every level you gain a certain amount of health passively. At level 1, Dismounted Kled technically has the lowest health at 340, but the next 3 champions are Anivia with 467, Heimerdinger with 476, and Lux with 477. The champion with the most health at level 1 is Tryndamere with 625, followed by Garen and Trundle with 616, and Zac with 615. Alistar has the most HP per level with 106, followed by Galio, Yorick, and Darius, who all share 100 per level. Gnar gains the least per level at 65, followed by Kled and Anivia with 70. At level 18, the champion with the most base health is Alistar with 2,415, while Tryndamere has 2,291, and Darius has 2,282. The level 18 champion with the lowest base health in the game is technically Dismounted Kled with 1,530, followed by Gnar with 1,645, and Anivia with 1,657. But what does this all mean? Mostly it means that the value of health on a level 18 Gnar or Kled is much higher than the value of health on a level 18 Alistar. This doesn't mean that health is useless on Alistar, but it means that Alistar has a much easier time stacking health than a Gnar or a Kled could. It also means that items that are coupled with health and a resistance are most likely better for Gnar than they would be for Alistar. More on that later when I talk about effective HP. For future reference, the standardized value of a single point of health on any character is 2.67 gold. Let's move on to secondary stats. Health regen, armor, and magic resist. Health regen, also sometimes called HP 5 due to the stat being the amount of health you regenerate within 5 seconds, is sometimes overlooked with regards to defensive stats. Health regen applies to your character in intervals of half seconds, so if you have 2 health regen per 5, you receive 0.2 health every 5 seconds. Health regen is affected by healing increases or decreases, meaning items like Spirit Visage increase your healing regen as well as your base healing, and that status effects like Grievous Wounds decrease your base healing as well. It is important to note that Health Regen stacks additively, which means that even though that Reju bead adds 50%, another Reju bead increases your healing by 100%, not 225%. Like with health, every level grants a certain amount of health regen to your base health regen, though this is normally a very small number. At level 1, the champion with the lowest health regen is Soraka, at 2.5 per 5 seconds, followed by Warwick with 3.75 per 5, and Mordekaiser with 4 per 5. The champion with the highest base health regen at level 1 is Sion, with 10.18 per 5, followed by Darius with 9.84 per 5, and Evelyn with 9.82 per 5. The champion with the lowest health regen growth per level is Mordekaiser, with 0.3 per 5, and the next 14 champions after Mordekaiser share 0.5 per 5 growth per level. The champion with the highest health regen growth per level is Gnar with 1.75 per 5, followed by Braum with 1 per 5 gained, and Darius with 0.95 per 5 gained. At level 18, the champion with the highest base health regen is Gnar with 34.3 per 5, followed by Darius with 26 per 5, and Braum with 25.2 per 5. I should mention that technically, Garen with his passive Perseverance activated has the highest possible base health regen at level 18 due to his passive restoring 0.8% of his maximum health every half second, meaning that with no health items, no healing items, or health regen items, Garen regenerates 180.22 health every 5 seconds, literally 5.25 times more than what Gnar has. Health regen is often ignored, as it happens passively, but is frequently very important. Champions with high health regen can afford to take small bits of damage over time, more so than champions with a low health regen, meaning it takes more damage in a shorter amount of time to force you out of lane. Riven is a very good example of this mechanic, as her low base health regen and low growth force her to utilize her kit or to be poked out of lane. Champions like Garen and Mundo, who receive a percentage of their maximum health as health regen per second due to their passives, can afford to lose trades so long as they can stay in lane safely afterward. Poking a Garen out of lane becomes very hard if you can't stop him from regenerating his health off of his passive, and Mundo can farm very safely at a distance utilizing his low cooldown Q while waiting for his health to come back up. Frequently, HP 5 is a stat that is sought after by tanks and bruisers, as the other classes of champions have other ways to sustain their health in lane, utilizing items such as Catalyst or stats like Lifesteal. All in all, never underestimate the power of health regen per 5, as it can make or break certain matchups. For future reference, the gold value of 1 HP regen per 5 is 36 gold, while 1% has a value of 3 gold per point. Armor and magic resist are both very interesting and important stats. They operate in the same way but for different types of damage. There are 3 types of damage in League of Legends: physical damage, magic damage, and true damage. Physical damage is reduced by armor, magic damage is reduced by magic resist, and true damage cannot be resisted. Both stats work by increasing the amount of damage required to kill your character by 1% for every single point given to the character. If a character has 1000 health and 100 armor, for example, it will take 2000 physical damage to kill them, resulting in a 50% reduction of all damage taken. If a character has 4000 health and 100 armor, it will take 8000 physical damage to kill them. If a character has 1000 health and 200 armor, it will take 3000 physical damage to kill them. If a character has 4000 health and 200 armor, it will take 12,000 physical damage to kill them. This calculation is called effective HP, you can calculate the physical effective HP, the magical effective HP, and the mixed effective HP, but we'll talk about that last one later. Calculating the effective physical or magical HP you have is very simple. Just multiply your resistance of choice by 0.01 and add it to 1. After you have done that, multiply your health by that number to receive your effective HP. This is sometimes misunderstood as these stats having diminishing returns, but this is only true with regards to the percentage each point of armor or magic resist reduces incoming damage. For example, if you have 100 armor, you reduce incoming physical damage by 50%. If you have 200 armor, you reduce incoming physical damage by 66%, an increase of 16 from 100 armor. But if you have 1000 armor, you're reducing damage by 91%, and buying 100 more armor only increases your reduction by 1% instead of 16. This means that without health, armor or magic resist stacking is inefficient. At level 1, the champion with the most armor in the game is Rammus with 31.4, followed by Maokai, Darius, Urgot, and Yorick with 30. The champion with the lowest armor at level 1 is Thresh with 16, followed by Orianna with 17.04, and Malzahar with 18. The champion with the most armor gained per level is Braum with 4.5, followed by Rammus with 4.3, and Urgot with 4.25. The champion with the smallest growth per level is technically Thresh, as he gains no armor per level, followed by Gnar with 2.5 and Trundle with 2.7. At level 18, the champion with the most armor is Rammus with 104.5, followed by Braum with 103.2 and Urgot with 102.3. The champion with the lowest base armor at level 18 is still technically Thresh, with 16 due to having no growth, followed by Gnar with 65.5 and Orianna with 68. Thresh is a special case, as he gains armor and AP through collecting souls through his passive, meaning you need to collect at least 2.75 armor's worth of souls every single level in order to stay scaling with other champions. Malphite is also an interesting case, as the passive on his W ability multiplies his armor from anywhere between 15 and 35%, meaning that without any armor items, Malphite has the most armor at level 18 with 124.2. Magic resistance is very strange, as most champions start the game with the same value of either 32.1, 32, or 30. At level 18, without items, most champions will have either 53.4, 53.3, or 38.5. Every champion with 30 MR at level 1 scales with 0.5 per level, and ends with 38.5 at 18. Every champion with 32 MR at level 1 scales with 1.25 per level, and has 53.3 at 18, and every champion that has 32.1 MR at level 1 scales with 1.25 as well, and will have 53.4 at level 18. It is important to note that Kassadin's passive gives him a flat 15% reduced incoming magic damage on top of the damage reduced by his MR. Being a champion who starts with 30 MR at level 1 and scaling to 38.5 at level 18, this means that level 1 Kassadin's MR is practically increased by 31.5, and level 18's Kassadin's MR is practically increased by 51.11. The difference in these stats exists for a very good reason. It is much easier to do physical damage consistently than it is to do magic damage due to the fact that every champion has auto attacks, but not all champions have AP scalings. Additionally, AD scales auto attack damage with a 1-to-1 ratio, and crits double this damage, while magic damage is, for the most part, rarely scaled as high and cannot be multiplied by building another stat like critical chance. Therefore, the value of 1 point of armor is less than the value of 1 point of MR, as you need more armor to fight effectively. The standardized value of armor is 20 gold per point, and the standardized value of MR is 18 gold per point. Now comes the hardest part of this video, discussing effective health. In order to build an item set that is effective against every source of damage, remember that health is king. Building flat health has a 1-to-1 correlation between how much each type of damage is required to kill you. But this doesn't mean that stacking health is as effective as stacking health with resistances. For example, if you built 6 Warmogs on level 18 Alistar, you would have 7,215 health, 84 armor, and 53.4 magic resist. It would take 13,268 physical damage to kill you, 11,067 magic damage to kill you, and obviously 7,215 true damage to kill you. Compare that to an Alistar with this build. He would have 4,590 health, 273 armor, and 163 magic resist, as well as some damage. This build means that it would take 17,120 physical damage to kill you, 12,071 magic damage to kill you, and 4,590 true damage to kill you. Having the added armor and magic resist makes your effective health much more than only having flat health. True damage is only countered by flat health, and really is only relevant when you don't have the damage to cover the flat amount, or you're playing against a champion who does percent max health or current health true damage, i.e. Vayne with her third W proc or Fiora with her passive proc. There are even situations where you will be put against an enemy team who is all physical damage, and stacking armor along with health will result in a better build than stacking a comparable amount of armor and magic resist. The reverse can also be true. That pretty much wraps up this week's How to Climb. If you have any questions or critiques, feel free to leave me a comment. Next week, we will go over offensive stats, and after that, we'll talk about when to build what items and why. If you have any topics you want covered in a video, tell me and I'll add it to the queue. Good luck with your ranked climb, and I'll see you all next week. Rendili out.